Okay, so now we're at that fateful time. Let's do it. Made my decision, and we're gonna go. So the first chapter. So a couple of cool things that I learned. Correct me if I'm wrong about this, please, because I like to be corrected if I'm wrong. But the first chapter is called. The book is called the Quran, but it's called the Reminder. Did you know that? It's called the Reminder because it's supposed to be reminding you of stuff. So actually, according to this, then maybe this should tell me things that I already know, but I just forgot. Is that a fair understanding of what this book is? So Fatiha starts like this. In the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful. All praises for God, Lord of the worlds, the most compassionate, the most merciful. So I've noticed that it told me about compassion twice. Compassion. You alone do we worship, and you alone do we ask for help. Guide us on the straight path, the path of those you have blessed, not those you are displeased with or who are astray. Okay. So the thing that sticks out to me, a couple things that stick out to me here is one, the God that's mentioned in the Quran, which is the God of all the universes, the same God as every God believes in, because the Muslims, I know that they believe in one central figure of God. I agree with this notion. Now, my definition is consciousness, or the creator of consciousness that has consciousness. So whatever that means. I mean, I'm a limited subjective being, so it's subjective reality with consciousness, I guess. If that's your definition, if you agree with that or don't, put your definition of what you think of is God in the comments, and help me understand what you mean if you're Muslim, or if you believe in a different religion, whatever. What's your definition of God if you do believe in God? I don't know. That's the first thing. So the definition of God is the most merciful and the most compassionate. So that means that your creator, according to this religion, is filled with compassion and mercy for you. Now, the weird thing about mercy is it can come in two different ways, or multiple different ways. But two different ways that I can think of is like the compassion and mercy of a mother, and the compassion and mercy of a father. So a mother's compassion and mercy comes with care and love and taking care of you, right? Like when you're sick, who are you going to get a hot tea from? Or like chicken noodle soup, right? You're gonna ask your mother. But the mercy, the compassion from the father is to be strict on you to get you prepared for the world. The father cannot be soft, because if the father is soft, then maybe the man becomes soft. The man being the son in this characteristic. No anger or no push away from women. I'm just not one, so I'm just going to speak from a male's perspective. Thank you very much. So a man has to raise a man, and the man is disciplinary with that man. So it's kind of like a balance, right? The balance between compassion and mercy. I would say compassion maybe from the father, strict compassion, and maybe mercy from the mother. Like, there's a balance there, right? So you need two parents because it's a balance. And then the next thing is, it says, guide us on the straight path, which is great, but you don't want to take that line for granted. So how I would look at it is like, okay, well, what is the straight path? Well, we know for a fact that there is a wrong path. Have you walked downtown Toronto lately? There's a lot of wrong paths. See the 17-year-old sleeping at a bus station, drugged out of his mind. He's on a wrong path. So we know that there's a wrong path. It just depends on where you are in regards to morality. For example, I don't think that getting drunk is the right path. I have some friends and they party. Well, they get partying and they don't think there's anything wrong with it. Maybe to them, there's nothing wrong with it when you're 20. But when you're 30 and you're still getting drunk at the bars, well, there's something wrong with it, which means that if that was a path, it's probably the wrong path, right? Or alcohol or drug addiction or gambling addiction. Like I have a friend, for example, and whenever we would go to the casino, right? I don't really gamble, but I'm chilling, So I go to the casino with this guy. It'd be a group of us. We'd go together like as a friend group. And that guy, he'd get cross-eyed. He'd be looking like this. We can't leave. He was captured by a value hierarchy that's off the straight path. So I will admit that there is a wrong path. But does this book have the answers to the right path? And if so, what is the right path? And let's find out. Cool. Thanks for listening. Fatiha, the opening.